Good morning. Welcome to Allen Avenue Unitarian Universalist Church Worship. I'm Polly Juno. My pronouns are she, her, and hers, and I'm a member of the worship committee. Our mission calls us to celebrate diversity, encourage spiritual growth, and promote social responsibility while we travel on the care for the earth. For those of you at home, if you're attending for the first time, please go to our website and fill out the welcome card so we can know more about you. Each month, Allen Avenue supports a nonprofit organization whose mission aligns with our Unitarian Universalist principles. The Share the Plate recipient for April is College Guild. College Guild is a grassroots education nonprofit whose mission is to provide free correspondence courses that connect incarcerated people with the community beyond prison walls, fostering mutual respect through a shared passion for learning. Research has shown that incarcerated people who have participated in prison education programs have a 50% reduced chance of returning to prison. To learn more about this organization, please go out to the website linked on your order of service today. This morning's gifting service is presented by Allen Avenue's Worship Committee. Lay-led worship is a tradition at this and many other Unitarian Universalist societies. At Allen Avenue, the Worship Committee either sponsors or presents one such service a month. The Worship Committee also helps to oversee and plan our summer lay-led services. We have started to organize these services. The good news is there are still some open Sundays. So, if you're interested in leading one of the summer services, please read more about how to do this in the email or the e-news or talk to a member of the worship committee. And to everyone here, new and old, we welcome you and are glad you've joined us. We'll now center our hearts and minds with the ringing of the bell. And for our chalice lighting, we call this light before us in hope that we may always remain a strong community, working together to make the world a better place. When we are grieving or sad, when we are challenged, when we need help, this flame guides us out of the darkness. When we are cheerful, when we celebrate, when we accomplish a great task, when we return to a place that makes us happy, the chalice reminds us to share our happiness with others.
Call to Worship. These words by Sharon Wiley. You whose hearts are broken, come in. You whom pain has touched, and sorrow and shock. You who have cried this week and read the news with sadness. You whom loss has shadowed, you who have grieved. Come in, come in. You with hearts open to joy and hope, come in. You whom love has touched, and friendship and wonder. You who have laughed this week and felt gratitude for many of life's blessings. You to whom gifts are given in abundance. You who rejoice. Come in, come in. All of our hearts are broken and open. All of us here grieve and rejoice. This is our place, this is our hour to gather and sing and cry and laugh. Come in, let us worship together.
Please stand as you are willing and able, and join us in singing the hymn, Come Sing with Song with Me, number 346 in your hymn book.
Good morning. I am Rick Kimball, and I rise to introduce a service that is already well underway. It was early March when the worship committee began planning for today. Russia had just attacked Ukraine, adding European war to the multiple burdens already weighing us down. The pandemic and environmental concerns for all, the personal loss of friends and partners for too many, the illnesses of others, inflation for everybody. We thought we might focus on war. We would declare it to be evil with endless negative consequences. We would enumerate the casualties. We would condemn the Putinites. But you already know as well as we that war is bad. What would we accomplish by burying us all once again in frightening headlines? So we asked, what could we do to make this service a gift, responding to, not adding to our grief? What would we give you if we could? What would you give us if you could? What would we give each other as gifts of support? Some answers of committee members follow. An invitation to offer thoughts of your own if you are here physically is presented on the card that ushers gave you as you entered. Is there anybody who did not receive a card and would like one? Seeing no answers, I will move on. And if you are on Zoom, well, no, let me back up. Please jot your answer on the card in 1 to 5 or so words. And we will collect your thoughts right after the offertory and share them later. And if you are on Zoom, please share your answers into 1 or 5 or so words using the chat box. If you will do that before the end of the offertory, we will be able to share them a bit later, we think. May our gifting of hopes and dreams for each other enrich our full community.
Morning, my name's Mike Luce. So, were it in my power, I would gift you a place of healing. What kind of place? Well, there's any choice you want to make for that. Some of them would serve you. You already know some of them, probably some you don't. I said a place of healing, but of course it doesn't have to be a place at all, except wherever you are at the moment. I find places of healing in my daily reveries and schemes and whatever my current project is at the time, or singing harmony lines to blues tune while I'm driving around alone, very alone. When I worked on an ACT team in community mental health, the blues channel on my radio was part of my survival strategy when I was driving from one client to the next. Those of you who know me won't be surprised to know that my favorite place of healing is in my wood shop. I was late coming to it. It took burning out, going away for a while, getting married, and recommitting to my calling in life before I finally got it that once I'd healed, I needed to keep on healing. The stress and vicarious trauma of the work doesn't just go away. So reasonably concurrent with each other, I found this church and started playing around with wood. I now have the sanctuary we all have here, and just as much of a sanctuary in my shop. In both places, I heal by making. Here it's by participating in the making and support of community and music. In the shop, I make a lot of wood chips and a few nice things. There seems to never be a time when some healing isn't a good thing. May you always have those healing places.
My name is Erica Bartlett, and I would give to you the gifts of grief and mourning. I realize these may sound like strange gifts, and certainly the times when I've experienced the immediacy of grief, it doesn't feel good in any way. Rather, it felt like nothing was certain anymore, that the ground was no longer stable underfoot, and that I'd never quite be the same. What I've learned recently is some of the reasons why we feel that way after a loss. As Mary Frances O'Connor, author of The Grieving Brain, points out, when we form strong bonds with others, it rewires our brains. She explains that our brains are prediction machines, and after spending so many hours and days and years with someone, we expect and predict that the person will continue to be around. But when you suffer a loss, suddenly those predictions are no longer true, and you feel adrift. As O'Connor explained in an interview on the Science Friday podcast, quote, on the one hand, you know that the person is gone. But on the other hand, it sort of feels like they're going to walk through the door again. And so that can be very confusing. I think it takes a long time for the brain to be able to predict that, no, I'm really not going to see that person again. End quote. And it does take time to get past the immediacy of grief and stop thinking that somehow you'll get that person back. This is when mourning can become a gift. When we can express our grief, it helps us to grasp and learn about the new reality. Only when we allow ourselves to acknowledge the situation can we accept what's happened and start finding new patterns in life. We never forget our losses, But instead of dwelling on them, we can move on, allow our brains to change their wiring again, and let new people and experiences into our lives. That is the gift I offer you.
I would give you the gift of the sunflower beauty on the walls, created in a group led recently by Celeste Stickney, and of the sunflower plants on this pulpit, grown from the seeds I planted after hearing the proposal for the art session. I planted them on March 12th, discovering only later that March 12th was National Plant a Flower Day. Look, they are growing. And someday they will burst into flames of glory, nature's chalices and gifts to all humanity. Sunflowers, the official flowers of Ukraine, the symbols of Ukrainian and world hope for just peace. Recently, YouTube and other videos have shown us a Ukrainian woman approaching an invading, hostile, and heavily armed Russian soldier to hold out to him sunflower seeds. "Put them in your pocket," she said, "so they will bloom when you die." What a sad image. Yet sunflowers will rise again above the war, showing beauty, showing life, showing glory and joy. Out of war and out of death will grow new life, and in that life there will be hope, there will be healing, there will be happiness, there will be brilliant fields of yellow reaching toward the bright and warming sky. Yes, I would give to you, in this room and on Zoom and beyond, the gift of the sunflower.
My name is Denise Curry, and to you, I would give the gift of cooking and sharing with friends and family, or even just yourself. I have always cooked. As a kid, I knew if I baked, I would be guaranteed dessert. When the pandemic struck, I cooked complicated vegan recipes because they made me feel a little bit better that I was helping the planet by eating lower on the food chain, and the recipes took a lot of time, and I had a lot of time. The wonderful thing about creating and eating a meal is that even if we are alone, it is not a solitary act. We know someone grew and harvested and shipped and sold the ingredients. We know that the sun and the rain watered the plants that the earth offers us as nourishment. If we are lucky to be with friends or family, we have the added gift of their company as we give the gift of our creativity. The simplest food, from boxed macaroni and cheese to the complications of making bread rise, is a time to be grateful that we are all part of the circle of life that contains multitudes. It contains love and loss and happiness, grief, life, death, anger, and forgiveness. Food is a way to bring people together to share those times. Or a meal is the time to be with ourselves and our thoughts. Or the crossword puzzle. Or in my case, my cat sitting on my crossword puzzle. But it's all good. Last month, when the local Dairy Queen was giving out free cones on the first day of spring, Will and I stood in line and talked to the moms who had brought their children, who were bouncing around with excitement. It was cold and windy, but all I saw were smiles. Who wouldn't be happy? Free ice cream. Food brought us together in a joyful, shared experience. So go and cook for yourself and your loved ones. Talk to someone in a coffee shop or in a line to buy groceries. Food puts us out into the world. Food crosses boundaries. It brings people together in a shared act. It lets us know that we are not alone. For our offertory today, we're going to do something a little different. In a moment, the ushers will come around to collect donations that help support our staff and volunteers in our many programs, religious education program, spiritual enrichment groups, and a variety of opportunities to create community. 1/3 will be shared with College Guild. After that, the ushers will come around again to collect the forms you filled out with the gifts you'd like to share with this community. For those online, you can use the link in the chat to donate electronically. And this is your last chance to enter a chat message with the gift you'd share with our community. This morning's offering will now be gratefully received.
I would give you the gift of humor. I want you laughing so hard you are rolling in the aisles. The trouble is, there are no aisles, either here in the sanctuary or on Zoom. Our church aisles ran off during COVID time. So, let's all go to Hannaford at 5 o'clock this afternoon. We can meet at the pickles aisle and roll all the way to sardines. Then on to Brillo pads where we can clean up any doubtful jokes. We'll avoid the whiskey and wine aisles because rolling there could get us arrested for public drunkenness. Our defense would be that we are not the public, we are A2U2 G2, or Allen Avenue Unitarian Universalist giggles and guffaws. But forget the police and listen to Irma Bombeck. When humor goes, she said, there goes civilization. There goes our church, too, even if some grumpy fundamentalists think us already uncivilized. Listen also to that serious old Unitarian philosopher, Ralph Waldo Emerson. To laugh often and much, she said, this is to have succeeded. Well, today's UUs want to succeed and they want to laugh. Did you know that there's a Unitarian Universalist Hysterical Society? You can check their website. It talks about how many UUs it takes to change a light bulb, and it suggests fake committees like the cat herding committee. Its website says that if there's a God, she's a comedian. And if you're tired of the internet, stick with comic strips, but go mindfully, ending with the best, which surely is peanuts. And keep coming to this church where we do laugh often and much, even in tough times like these, reminding me of a serious moment in a mystery book by John Harvey. It's not funny, Detective Resnick tells a friend. I know, says the friend. Why do you think I've been cracking jokes? Right. So try cracking jokes of your own, go ho 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 and ha 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 and see what happens. Yes, I would give you the gift of humor, and for those of you still worrying about how many UUs it takes to change a light bulb, the Hysterical Society offers 20 answers. My favorite comes from one Paul Lawson who says, you never change it if you respect the worth and dignity of the dead bulb.
And so we've collected your responses, and here they are. First, we're going to go through the ones from the sanctuary. Happy memories from Mike? Mickey.
So if you wrote your name down, we will be saying them, just forewarning you. Okay. Help make the church an inviting and beautiful place, from Jerry.
Kindness always, from Nancy Cunningham.
World peace would do it, David Wilcox.
A nice long book.
Storytelling is bringing things of beauty into existence, Keith.
A really delicious pot of homemade vegetable soup.
From Anna, gratitude for this kind community.
Seeds, sprouts, seedlings, saplings, trees. I think there's a theme there. Chris.
Friendship, from Keith Williams.
A kind word and a hug, a song.
Quiet and strength that comes from taking quiet time.
I would listen and help within my powers.
From Grace, hope.
Love, compassion, and a listening ear.
More music, like we had in the service on 417.
Prayers and support.
A non-judgmental listening ear. I'm working on it, Barbara. Good luck.
And these are the ones from Zoom. A bouquet of daffodils, Connie Cross.
From Jane Prairie, laughter when possible, finding my center, to be present for others to find theirs.
To share and receive kindness, often with an open heart, Kathy G.
I have one left from inside here that says, a new minister will come to us.
My gift would be peace of mind for everyone, from Susie.
From Lee, love of family, friends, and neighbors.
My gift would be connecting in person with friends, so special after these years of isolation, from Judith.
And our last one from Carol Jenkins, my gift would be deep belly laughs with family and friends.
And our choir will now gift us with its music. This morning's anthem is not the one listed in the order of service, but a song called I Know This Rose Will Open. It's by Reverend Mary Gregolia, who I count as a friend, and so it's especially nice for me to hear this.
I know this rose will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open. I know this rose will know this rose. I know this rose. I know my fear. I know my fear. I know the wings. I know my soul. I know its wings. I know this rose. I know this rose. I know this fears. I know the way. I know my fear. I know its wings. I know my soul. I know its wings. I know this rose will open. I know this rose will open. I know this rose will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul. I know its wings. I know this rose will open. I know this fears will burn away. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul, I know its wings. I know this
would give to you the gift of mindfulness, although I'll be the first to admit that it's not often easy to be mindful when so many negative things are happening in the world. I know for myself that when I learn about those negative things, COVID, climate change, the war in Ukraine, it's hard not to worry about the implications for the future. I have a tendency to start going down all the frightening what-if rabbit holes until I remind myself that getting stressed out and anxious about things I can't control and that may never happen doesn't help me or anyone else. That's when I turn to mindfulness, since I know from experience that paying attention to the present moment helps ground me and reduces my stress about big world events. If you're not familiar with mindfulness, one of the easiest ways to bring your attention to the present moment is to focus on your breath. To show you what I mean, I invite you to get comfortable and close your eyes for a moment and focus on your breathing, the air going in and out of your lungs, your chest rising and falling. Take a deep breath in, hold it a moment, and let it out. One more breath in, and pause, and exhale. And feel free to open your eyes now. Even in that short time, you may have felt a bit more relaxed because you can't really focus on your breath and simultaneously worry. You can also choose to focus in other ways, of course. You could go for walks and notice new things in the neighborhood, play with your pets or kids, do yoga, paint, or whatever else works for you. Now, I know being mindful doesn't stop all the bad things from happening, but by paying attention to the present moment, you can regain calm and focus. That way, you can decide how you want to respond to those bad things, and that will do much more good than spending all your time on worry. And I invite you now to join us in our closing hymn, number 402, From You I Receive. We'll sing it through 3 times, and since it's a short one, you can remain seated.
As we extinguish our chalice and prepare to move on to our separate ways, let us pause to reflect on how good our lives would be with all our proposed gifts made real. Then let us pause once more and recognize that simply speaking these gifts is in itself a great gift. The first step in bringing hopes and aspirations to fruition is speaking them aloud. Through our talk of giving and receiving, we have enriched each other's lives in this hour, and by that fact we are blessed. We need not say, "May it be so," for it already is. Let us now go in peace.